Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Antiheroes Anonymous, or welcome for the first time if it's your first time joining us. I'm Ethan, and I'm the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons show! Nick.
Nick has the best ones.
Yep. Uh, Nick, before I get into announcements, would you like to kick off some player introductions, and then I'll do the announcements, the recap, and we'll get into playing for tonight?
Sure. Hi, I'm Nick. I play Sir Thaddeus Hammerlock, the Human Vengeance Paladin.
I'm Kate. I play Harmony, the Tiefling Wild Magic Sorcerer.
I'm Zach, and I play Zant, who is a human fighter ranger.
And I'm Melissa, and I play Mara, who is a human swashbuckler rogue.
Swashbuckler. Nice.
Swashbuckler.
You did it!
No,
Um,
Swashbuckler.
I'm just gonna say pirate. I just can't do it.
No, that's fine. Say whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
As long as it conveys who Mara is. So we premiere our episodes every Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube. Throughout the show, we use a variety of custom items as well as a custom wild magic table, so be aware of that as you're watching. Our music comes from BattleBards, TabletopAudio, and Incompetech. And our character portraits, which you'll see on the info cards in this corner of the screen. Yes?
Yes.
Sweet.
Sorry, I was muted, so I give you a thumbs up in response.
We're drawn by an artist named Carrie Peach, who goes by @CarrieDraws on Twitter. Other than that, you can check the video description for links and information to everything I just mentioned and more. Or you can follow us on Twitter @AntiheroesAnon for more information about what we're doing, when we're doing it, how we're feeling about the state of the universe, etc. Other than that, we just hope you enjoy the show, share it with your friends, and come back to watch some more. You guys ready for a recap?
Also, it should be State of the Multiverse, I think.
This is true.
Yeah. All right.
We do
I'm
not
ready
live in
now.
a singular universe. So, recap. The anti-heroes are currently going after a night hag named Mother Midnight in her lair on Malbolg, the 6th layer of the 9 Hells. So far, they've reached Stygia, the 5th layer, where they stopped Demogorgon, the Prince of Demons, from rampaging across or through the city of Tantalon. At a party held in their honor for their deeds slaying Demogorgon, they tried to make deals to free Mara's grandfather and lift the curse on Harmony's bloodline. In return, the Archduke Glacia, Lord of the Sixth, demanded that they slay Levistus, the ruler of the 5th layer, Stygia, their current layer of residence. After a pitched battle with Levistus, that resulted in the Archfiend's death, they met with Zariel, the Archduke of the 1st layer of the 9 Hells, to perform an atonement ceremony. Now, Asmodeus has been angered, and they must quickly finish the rest of their tasks within the 9 Hells. But first, a archdevil named Geryon demands a word with them, holding the physical form of the contract that binds Mara's grandfather as his ransom. So, we pick up there. The archdevil Zariel, having been redeemed and resuming her angelic form before zipping off across the skies of Stygia in a blaze of light. The group of you then pass a long rest within the Temple of Cold Justice, which sort of regulates the temperature and keeps you warm. The cold, frigid air of the snowbound plain of Stygia, well outside the boundaries of the temple. Is there anything that you guys would like to do that night, or shall we skip forward to the morning?
I can't think of anything specific.
Nothing here.
Nothing you guys want to talk about or discuss?
I feel like there has to be something, but my brain is so blank right now.
I mean, we could just be exhausted at this point, too.
It's like when you get called on in class and you're like, I forgot.
I mean, we had a pretty
think
long
of it.
day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so maybe we just recuperate right now and then talk about whatever in the morning.
Okay. In that case, you can take your time, taking a long rest. You spend your time recuperating, restoring your spell slots, restoring your hit points, generally seeing to the
Oh,
wear
I
and
thought of
tear.
something.
Oh, okay.
Can I have made like a couple of potions before going to bed?
I think that only like the basic healing potion can be done in one night, right? Isn't that what we've worked out before?
So I can't make like a greater healing potion in one night.
Yeah, I think you could probably only do a basic one.
Okay, well, if that's worth it, I'll make a basic healing potion.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Just to have.
Harmony spends some time off in a corner putting various alchemical parts together to create a healing potion. But other than that, your time passes rather uneventfully after Zariel departs. And you wake up in what you presume is the morning within the Citadel of Cold Justice. However, the night sky above you maintains its dark, gloomy aspect, and you can still continue to see the sort of lazily shifting aurora borealis type things in the sky that sort of shift through the spectrum of different colors, lightning flashing off of them at odd intervals. It doesn't seem like anything changes from day to night here in terms of light levels, but the time passes, you get your rest, and morning arrives. What would you like to do?
What time did Geryon say he wanted to meet us, or was it just sometime
We
today?
told him noon at the
Noon.
at the Frozen Tab.
Okay.
I don't
I
know
think-
what noon means here, but that's what we told him.
So I assume that Fatty's going to take an hour to do his prayers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
While he's doing that, can I sit with the feather that Eli gave me?
Mm-hmm.
See if I can figure out what exactly it does.
Sure. So you're doing kind of like the process you would do if you were attuning to it.
Yes.
Just make a Charisma Arcana check.
Yeah, why not? I'll do Tides of Chaos.
Nice.
Right
That's what I
off the
like to
bat.
hear.
Right off the bat. Oh, much better. 23.
23, okay. You spend some time concentrating on this feather, focusing on it from both like an intellectual and sort of a intuitive perspective, pouring your consciousness forward towards it to try and figure out what this thing does. And you figure out that it has sort of a conjuration magic to it. With a 23, I think that the nature of the magic specifically feels very familiar to you. You can very much feel Eli's essence within the feather. It's sort of like as if it has been packed into this feather. And you think that releasing the magical properties of this feather might conjure sort of an astral spiritual form of Eli to wherever you are in order to help you out. Yep.
That's pretty cool.
That's
a good-
exciting.
It's a good thing to have.
Yeah. All right. Then I'm going to just tuck it in my cleavage because I don't want it to go in my bag where it can get stolen. So it's going to be
You're going to put Eli...
Right next to your heart. Right next
Right
to
next
your
to my
heart.
heart.
next to your
There you
heart.
go. There you
That's
go.
that's a good way
with
of
the
putting it.
feather.
We have children watching, guys.
Do we though? I don't think we do.
We might. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll move on.
Cleavage isn't a bad word.
Right. Okay. So you put Eli directly in your boobs.
Yep.
What then?
Yep. That's it for me.
The rest of you regroup after a night of rest and recuperation. Citadel Cold Steel, or not Cold Steel, that's Geryon's fortress. The Temple of Cold Justice, is that the
Yep.
one?
Yep.
Yep. Will probably linger for a little bit longer, but you could dismiss it right now if you wanted to.
No, I like it. I like having it around till the end. It's funnier.
All right. So as you open the gates to begin to make your way out towards the city of Tantalum, because you sort of set this temple up on the outskirts of the city, You see immediately as you open the door that there's sort of a blizzard going on outside the temple, and it is obscuring vision so that you can't see too far ahead of you, but you can see that there is a figure out in the snow standing and seemingly waiting for these doors to open. And they seem to be wearing dark clothing of some kind, but with the obscuring blizzard, it's hard to make out any more details than that. And they sort of seem to react as the doors open, but wait for you guys to step out.
Okay, hello.
Okay, out
How
we
are
go.
ya?
Yeah.
As you step out and begin to make greetings towards this figure, they move forward out of the blizzard, and the form that emerges from the blizzard is very sort of out of place for the environment, because it is this handsome red-skinned figure who all of you very much recognize, clad in a perfect, immaculate dark suit with red pinstripes,
Oh God.
carrying a goldenrod tipped with
And
a
in we go
large
again.
and immaculate ruby, and he strides forward confidently to the group of you as Modius opens
I
his
go
mouth
back
and
into the
says,
temple.
"Well, now I've been waiting for the group of you.
Waiting to do what?
To have words, Sir Thaddeus Hammerlock."
Oh.
Speak your piece.
At this point, I'm not sure where I should start or what exactly I should say. I have to know. I have the hospitality to welcome you into my home plane and throw a party in your honor, and this is how you repay me? Consider me severely disappointed if this is the way that the nobility from your home plane conduct themselves in the home of another, Sir Thaddeus Hammerlock. And he kind of gives you this disappointing look.
Disappointed, but not surprised, surely. After our conversation at the party, you knew that something like this was a possibility.
I am an astute judge of character, and surely I did believe that this might happen, but I assumed, perhaps recklessly, that someone of your caliber, a politician of your caliber, would have the respect to maintain decorum while in another's home domain.
I'm not supposed to like Asmodeus, but I really like him.
I know, right?
If nothing is said after that, he kind of puts up his hands and sort of turns around with frustration, taking a stance as he observes the plains of Stygia, seemingly unaffected by the cold of the place. And he says, "Rest assured, I understand the power that the group of you possess, and I am under no delusions that with your combined efforts, you could probably slay my current avatar. However, while I am not here to provoke violence because of the said power level discrepancy I have just mentioned, I am here to warn you, in no uncertain terms, that your stay within my plane will not end favorably." And kind of looks around for any sort of reaction to that.
I'm in the
Yeah,
doorway.
yeah.
I'm in the
We've
doorway
heard
of
it
the
before.
temple.
Heard it all before.
This is hell, right?
Precisely, Mr. Zant. And I intend to make it so for you. So, know that from this point onward, you and I will no longer exhibit the hospitality we showed at the party the night before. And furthermore, this very plane itself will be your foe. All of your endeavors will be subject to the wrath of this domain. Am I clear?
I suspect that you'll be made clear as we progress.
It certainly shall. And he kind of raises his eyebrows, looks at you for any comments from any of you.
Thaddeus is just like staring at him.
Well then, my proclamation is made, and if no other further discourse is to be had, then I shall take my leave. Pray that we do not meet again. And he kind of lets that sit for a second, and then turns around and disappears off into the blizzard.
I stick my
Wow.
tongue out as he leaves.
He's a mighty powerful speechifier.
And as he disappears into the blizzard, all of you can feel an oppressive weight settle on your shoulders. It's more intense than when you were holding the soul coins. It's more intense than the general evil nature of the Nine Hells that has been slowly attempting to corrupt you. It is as if, because of your sort of honed instincts from all your times fighting powerful foes and things like that, you are detecting a malicious intent from the environment itself all around you constantly.
Huh.
Great.
Yep.
Let's not stay here for a lot longer.
Yeah,
let's go to the frozen tap.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. You make your way back to the city of Tantalin, and you get within the city gates pretty easy enough, mostly because they haven't been fully built back up yet. So there's plenty of gaps that you can hop back in. The frozen tap itself seems to have been rebuilt a little bit. If you'll recall, its facade was sort of smashed in during the siege of Tantalin. It's still not like a perfect frozen bar front, but most of the walls seem to have been repaired. And when you walk in, you can see the tiefling barkeeper, whose name I'm currently trying to remember, Brevity, I think, is kind of behind the tap. And she sees you come in and says, "Well, look who it is. My favorite patrons."
At least it's not hostile in here. Yep.
Brevity.
Yep.
Can I get you anything?
Those
Gary-
jerks from before haven't come back to harass you again, have they?
No, not since you swung by. However, well, I mean, not to harass me. They are here now, but I mean, they said they had business, so nothing to do
Yeah,
with me.
with us this time.
Yeah, I'd like to
Yeah.
order a Geryon, please.
Do you have any mulled wine?
I believe last time you were here, I told you we have the red and the white. That's about it.
Right.
I'll
I
have
mean-
one of those special beers.
Oh, sure, the Stygia nail. Yep, no problem.
Mhm.
Coming right up. This time you are going to have to pay.
Okay.
It's just a gold piece for the Stygia nail.
Okay.
And
It's a
for
nail.
the red, she points at Thaddeus,
The white, please.
keeping me on my toes. She goes and pours a white wine into a like frozen cup. Presents that to Thaddeus. A gold for that as well.
I'll have the red.
Give her a gold.
Oh, sure. Gold for that too. If there's nothing else I can help you with, you said you're here for Geryon. He's taken up room in the back.
Okay.
I'll bring my glass of wine with me
Yeah,
back
she's
in the
gonna
back.
runs to the side of the bar and points you down the hall to where there's clearly a back room.
Thanks, Brevity.
Thank you.
Welcome. Come back if you need more. In the back room, you find yourselves at basically like a conference room where the figure you've come to know as Geryon is set up at sort of the head of the table. And to remind you all, he's sort of this massive serpentine form from the waist down with these black snake-like scales and a tail that sort of culminates in a wicked-looking scorpion's pincer type, or not a pincer, like the tail, the
Stinger?
stinger tail of a scorpion. He has very much like bird-like claws for hands, a furry human-like torso, and sort of a ruggedly attractive human face. But then these red bat-like wings that come off his back. He's very much an amalgamation of a
Man,
lot
he's
of
such a
different
weirdo.
things. Yeah, he's really weird. But he's seated at the end of the table, and basically stood behind him. There are several different devils that you recognize at this point. There's the furry tusked assassin you recognize as Lil Benny, and a group of chain devils you recognize as
Blondie and
let's see.
Snakes, Weasel, Nice Guy, Blondie.
Yep, those
those
ones
guys.
exactly.
yeah, great.
The Geryon gang.
It's
Yeah.
Smokes, Weasel, Nice Guy, and Blondie.
Yeah.
A group of chain devils
Oh,
that stand
yep,
behind him.
it's Smokes.
So good.
Put my glasses on.
You know, I would love to see what Geryon can do in a talent contest.
And as you come in, he kind of appraises the group of you with a glance that you recognize as like it's an experienced warrior examining
Oh, I can do that too.
Yeah, it's very similar to sort of like the way that Zant looks at his enemies, like immediately assessing their combat abilities specifically.
Likewise, I'd like to use that as well.
Oh, okay. What do you want to know about him?
Well, once we interact for a minute, I would like to know what his armor class is compared to mine, and his strength score.
What is your armor class?
19 without a shield, 21 with a shield.
Okay. You gather looking at him the like sort of hardened nature of his snake-like tail, as well as his upper torso looks like it's more naturally armored than a normal human's torso would be. He has exactly the same armor class as you do without your shield.
Okay.
As far as his strength score goes, he is much better muscled than
He has
you
more.
are.
He has higher than 23.
He
Dang.
does have higher than
Oh.
23.
This guy.
And it's by a significant amount.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
He looks like his body is made of muscle.
Great.
Yep. And there's several open seats to the group of you.
So I'll shoulder Mara and be like, just don't arm wrestle him, okay?
Okay, I'll try to hold back.
Is the anchor visible in the room?
No.
Okay.
Interesting.
Should we say?
From the back of the room, Lil Benny kind of waves at the group of you. Hey.
Can I kind of circle around and look for like any kind of hidden compartments before I sit?
Sure. And he doesn't seem to stop you, but roll an investigation check.
Ooh, that's a good one. Let's see. Oh, so I get a +0. So that is a 19.
Nice.
You don't find any hidden compartments or anything like that which could conceal anything as large as the anchor. What you do see is that Geryon is carrying on his person it looks like the only belonging he is carrying on himself, he's trying to keep hidden sort of within the folds of his bat-like wings. But it seems to be like a horn that you would blow into to produce like a loud trumpeting sound or something like that.
Oh, I can do that.
It looks like it's made of like a bull's horn or a minotaur's horn or something like that. And he's trying to keep that sort of hidden in his bat.
Okay. All right.
But he kind of lets you, carry out your appraisal.
Yeah, I'll sit at the table.
Yeah, I'll sit as well.
Yep.
He leans forward, kind of holds his claws together and says, "This is not my forte."
I expect him to be more shouty.
We could tell.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like he has a very different like spoken voice from his battle shouty voice.
Okay. I was like,
It's
oh, that's
true.
different. All right, sure.
We'll try to
It's a
make
little bit
advantage
more
for you.
snake-like than it
Mm,
is.
okay.
Yep.
I respect that.
Okay.
Well, I have something that you want. You have something that I want.
What could you possibly want from us?
A ticket out of here, if I may be frank.
You too?
He nods and says, with Levistus gone, my position is, well, it's gone from precarious to dangerous.
Hmm.
I hold no power here anymore.
Would it be any safer somewhere else though, in the different levels of hell?
Yeah, where are you trying to get to?
Yeah.
He shakes his head and says, you cut to the point. It wouldn't be safer in hell. I need to leave. And you're not from here.
And how could we help you with that?
He sort of snaps one of his clawed fingers, and one of the chain devils, the one that you know to be Blondie,
Great.
sort of produces a scroll which is wrapped in tight chains, which he hands to Geryon, and Geryon sets it on the table and sort of allows a moment of silence for the group of you to look at it a little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah, I'll reach out and grab it.
You reach out and grab it? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's this sort of like scroll, but it's not like a paper scroll. It looks like it's leather and it's wrapped up in chains.
Okay. I guess I'll unbind it and carefully and open it up.
Okay. Roll an Arcana check.
Sure. That's a 19 on the dice.
Oh.
That's a 21.
Dang.
Yeah, I know.
With a 21, you're pretty clear. It's pretty clear to you that this is definitely an arcane scroll. Looks like it's of sort of conjuration magic.
Okay.
Beyond that, without any like further training, I don't think you know too much. But it's clear that it's a magic scroll of some kind.
Okay. I think I'll send a message to Harmony and say, back me up just in case, all right? And I'll open it up.
Okay. As you sort of examine it for a minute,
Wait, don't open it up just yet.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, Geryon doesn't like try and stop you or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm getting the feeling like that's exactly what he wants us to do. So what is this? I'll look at Geryon and say, what is this? A little explanation would be nice.
I need a ticket out of here, and devils can't leave on their own accord. We have to be summoned.
Right.
With this scroll, a group of you could summon me permanently to where you're from.
But to wreak havoc there, why would we do that? Why would we even want to?
You would want
So
to
you just
because
want to get out of the hells, right?
exactly.
And all you want is for us to take this scroll and use it to summon you out of the hells.
Into where you're from, yes.
Not
Right.
into, say, Sigil?
He shakes his head and says, no, Sigil won't do. There's already too many people vying for power there. I wouldn't fly under the radar. I need to fly under the radar.
This is really weird.
Hmm. Can I roll insight?
Sure, sure.
Okay. That's not very good though.
Well, hold on. His charisma is not very good either. So let me roll a thing here.
I got a 13. So,
Okay. Yep.
but
You.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, were you gonna say something? Do you have
Yeah,
another
I
ability or
guess-
something?
Can I get any idea if there's any like strings attached for the summoning group? Like, do we have to make? Because like, is it like it's not like a one-way street, right? We don't just do it and he's back, and then we don't have to pay anything or deal with anything. Do we have
Well, right
control
now-
over summoning him? Like, can we send him back if he's bad and stuff?
Based on what
Like-
he said so far,
Yes.
no. But there's no like written contract presented right now. So
Okay.
there's no like hard language for what he wants you to do.
So I think I
So
would.
just based on what he said, probably not.
Okay, I think I would probably mention that then, and I'll just say, well, I'm not sure if I speak for all of us, but I can't imagine that the general populace of our material plane is going to be okay with us summoning a devil such as
No,
yourself.
that's
And-
absolutely out of the question. But
Yeah,
any other plane we could talk about.
yeah, probably.
Any other plane you want.
I have an alternative.
What's
If you'd
that?
be willing to consider it, Geryon.
I'll hear it.
We'll summon you permanently to our plane if you undergo the same change and the same arrangement that a former archnoble named Moloch went through.
He looks at you and then says, "What? Subject myself to what? The lowly life of an imp? Is that what you're asking?"
You'd be alive, be better than nothing.
Roll a persuasion check, just at disadvantage to
Sure.
sort of see how it's received.
Can I help him?
This- Yeah, sure. So
Okay.
it'd be a flat roll.
Just a straight. Okay.
This won't necessarily like persuade him to
Right,
do
yeah.
it. It's just like to see how this idea is received, like for something for him to consider.
27.
27, okay.
Dang.
He says, "All right, you raise a point. Alive is better than dead, but let's explore other options first. There must be another way forward that doesn't involve me subjecting myself to becoming the lowliest of the low."
Right. So, any other plane. Not our home plane. Someplace like the Shadowfell, for example.
It's not a bad suggestion.
Tell me about this Shadowfell.
Oh, it's great. I think you'd love it there. Lots of monsters for you to reign over. Like, you just want to be the guy in charge, right? That place, we just took out their leader, and it is prime for conquering.
Prime real estate. You have your own castle.
It really is.
She's
There's a
right,
lot of
actually.
interesting treasures down there.
Quite the
lots
power
of-
vacuum to fill.
And
Yeah.
what sort of domain is this Shadowfell?
Can I interrupt and send Harmony a message
Sure.
and say, remember though, there's gates to our home in the Shadowfell that are frequented, so it's very possible that
We've kept those guarded ones. We can do it more. We can
yeah,
look into sealing them. It's not an issue. What kind of domain is the Shadowfell? I'm not sure I understand that question.
What are its properties?
Gloomy, inhabited by shades, the undead.
I mean, it's better than this place, but only by a fraction.
He seems to consider that and says, "Well, it would be better than a lot of the lower planes where Asmodeus still has reach. And
Sure.
I can't go into many of the upper planes without being outright killed by the bigoted good who live there."
Also true.
I mean, what sort of options would you want to explore as far as a place?
I
know,
want
why-
somewhere where there are creatures to test my might against.
Oh, yeah, then the
Alright.
Shadowfell would be perfect.
There's
Yes.
a portal to the negative energy plane there.
Sure is. It's like a 2-for-1 deal. How could you pass this up?
Okay, one of you make a persuasion check.
I think Harmony seems to be doing a lot of the talking, so. But we're
Alright.
helping, I think.
Sure.
So advantage.
Yep.
Ooh, persuasion. Okay, 26.
Nice.
hold on. Let me look at one thing. I'm having to brush up on a lot of planes right now.
Could you pass
Well,
this
there's
up?
the
It's a 2-for-1
737.
deal.
747, which is a larger plane. The Airbus 320 is pretty good.
Nerd.
It's a tempting offer. I think overall the one I would prefer, if not your world where you're from, is the plane of Acheron. Do you know of it?
Do we?
Do I know of it?
Have we been there?
You have not been there, but one of you could roll an Arcana check.
Just one of
I
us?
will. Oh no. That's not very good.
We don't
That's a
know.
12.
12.
That's a 12.
Yeah, this one sort of the only thing you would know of it is sort of like the vague, broad strokes description, which is that it's sort of a plane of constant warfare, that sort of thing.
Sounds fitting.
But I don't think you would know anything about like how to get
Yeah.
there or etc.
Well, we know people who can cast plane shift. I mean, Harmony can do it herself in a pinch. I'm more open to this idea than to bringing him into our plane.
Oh yeah, I'd be so bored on ours.
The only people on our plane that you could test him out against is really us, and we would destroy you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not
Yeah, I
interested
can
in-
bring you to any plane you want. So if this Acheron place is where you want to go, deal.
Well, hang on. Any place that you can survive in long enough to do this transaction.
He kind of thinks about it for a second and says, I will think on where specifically I would like to go. If your plane is out of the question, this Shadowfell sounds promising. As I've said, I would also accept Acheron. However, we should probably talk about the other side of the deal. I have something that I believe you want, and I'm prepared to relinquish it if you are willing to summon me into one of these other locations. But we need to talk about what happens if you don't fulfill your end of the deal. Now, know that I'm not necessarily one to deal in souls. That has never been my thing. However,
Firstborn children, then, is it?
shakes his head. Nothing so morbid. I deal in power and strength.
So you want like an arm wrestle or something?
Uh-oh.
He gives you like a very sort of angry look. Like, how could you say something so dumb?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he doesn't pick up on your joke at
Oh,
all.
okay, I gotcha.
And he says, no, if you don't fulfill your end of the bargain, that which gives you strength becomes mine. He sort of looks around the table, his eyes settle on Zant, and he says, your physical prowess. He glances at Mara and says, your ability to contort your body in dexterous ways and move with speed, that sort of thing.
We have no plan to go back on our word here. What sort of timeline are we looking at
That's
For your-
exactly what I was going to ask.
for your
Like,
summoning?
is there a deadline?
I need to leave here soon.
Great. Very clear.
Well, I think the thing you need to understand is we still have business down here. We don't know how long that's going to take. And then once we get back home, all signs are pointing to another business that we have to take care of, or we might die. So you're going to have to give us some wiggle room here.
He slams his clawed fist down on the table and says, 3 weeks. That's what I'm willing to give you.
3 months.
Shakes his head.
Well,
I
wait,
think
what's
we
our...
can do 3 weeks.
How long have we been in hell so far? What's our total like timeline that we've...
Yeah, you don't remember, do you?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
It
asking. Like, how long have we
feels-
been here?
Feels really
Um,
short.
It's only been at this point, I think, a couple of days by your reckoning, like 5 or 6 days.
We've been here in Stygia for a couple of days. I think it's been close to a week, all
Yeah.
told.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 weeks.
Let's go fire.
Roll a persuasion check.
All right.
Yep.
Natural 20.
Oh my
Natural 20.
gosh. Yes.
All right. He says,
31 total.
fine, 4 weeks. You don't fulfill your end of the bargain within 4 weeks, and everything that makes the group of you strong becomes mine.
I have a suggestion, Harmony. We can
Yes.
sweeten the deal a little bit on our end. We can push ourselves, get it done in 2 weeks. If you can sweeten it a little bit on yours.
I like the way you think.
Yeah, I mean, he looks across the table at you and sort of says, what other things would you be interested in? I will warn you, not much is within my power, but I would be willing to do something to speed up this process.
Are you familiar with Gar the Shatterer?
He nods.
His heart lies not far from here, at Dueling Valley. Get it for us before we leave this plane, and we'll push ourselves, do it in 2 weeks. Otherwise, it might take 4.
When you say Gerard the Shatterer's heart lies at Duelist's Chasm, what do you mean?
Someone there has it.
He leans back in his chair and motions for Lil Benny to come sort of up into whispering distance, and puts his clawed hand up in front of his face and begins to whisper to
Of course
Lil
he
Benny.
does.
And Lil Benny kind of nods and like whispers back.
Does little bunny cover his mouth as well?
I mean, he's behind Geryon's massive clawed arm.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
You win this one.
And then finally he sort of shoos Lil Benny away and then says, let's speak specific terms.
Mhm.
Do you want the one who holds the heart shard?
No, we want the shard.
We want the shard with the heart in it.
So you don't care what happens to whoever holds the heart shard?
Not
I've
really, no.
never heard of him nor met them.
"10 days and I will do this for you."
Think we can accomplish this in 10 days?
Can you bring it with you when we summon you?
Yeah. When you pose that question, he kind of thinks about it for a second. You can tell that like magic is not his specialty. He kind of calls one of the other devils forward. Probably Smokes, I think. Calls Smokes forward and sort of consults with Smokes. And then when that discussion is over, says, "It's possible. I'd prefer to deliver on my end of the bargain while you're here in hell, though, if possible."
That may be by the end of the day. We are on a timetable.
Yeah, we're not planning to stay much longer.
Lil Benny works fast.
All right. How
Sweet.
fast?
Depends on how difficult it is to obtain this shard. We can try to do it within the day, but
Can you meet us in Melbolg?
if I have to.
That would
Yeah,
be.
that's where we're going next.
That's our next
Where are we
destination.
meeting up with our army?
Here.
Oh,
Here at the first tab here or here in Tampa?
No, here on Stygia here.
Yeah, sort of on the outskirts of Tantalin, you think.
Okay.
It's somewhere on the same iceberg that Tantalin occupies.
Okay. Well, we'll tell them, meet us there.
I'll need a more specific location when the time comes, but that should be doable.
I'm sure you know how to contact us.
I'll find a way. So he sort of leans across the table and says, "So the terms of our agreement are thus. 10 days, and I shall procure the heart of Garar the Shatterer for the group of you. I shall provide you with the physical form of the contract that contains the soul of this one's grandfather, and he gestures to Mara. And he says, and you shall, within those 10 days, summon me to either this Shadowfell or the Plain of Acheron.
14 days.
10 days.
We can do it in 10.
It's 10
Harmony.
days only if you get us the heart shard.
Only if you get us the heart shard.
Otherwise, it's
If you show up at the meeting spot without the heart shard, it is going to be 4 weeks.
This is agreeable.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Then one of the chain devils, who has been sort of like furiously scribbling on a scroll in the background this entire time, scribbles a little bit longer and then brings that forward, and it is a document outlining the terms of the agreement. If one of you wants to take a pass over that.
yeah, I'll take it and I'll look at
I'll
it.
help.
Sure.
You're a brilliant legal mind, Zach.
Yeah.
Be an
Is he-
insight check then.
Yep.
Is he planning
I'll
to
help.
bring? Is he planning to bring his minions as well, or just him?
21.
Do you want to ask that?
Yeah, Mister.
Actually, that should.
How many
that language
tickets
is
do you want?
Probably in the contract. What does the contract say?
What did you roll, Zach?
21.
As far as you can tell, it's only him who is being summoned out of the 9 hells, based on your read of the contract.
Okay.
If you want to ask him specifically, that's also a fair option, but it's up to you.
Well, if it's in the contract, that's okay.
And I guess I'll ask him, and so how do we use this? And I'll point at the leather scroll.
He looks at Harmony and Thaddeus and says, the two of you seem to have some abilities with magic.
Really, all Harmony.
I can figure it out.
Well,
Okay.
one of you can clearly read the spell, cast the spell, and summon me into being.
All right.
With the 21 also, Zach, it is clearly stipulated within the contract that it seems he's made a decision that his priority preference would be the Shadowfell and then Acheron. And Acheron is only to be the option if the Shadowfell is not possible for some reason.
Okay. Are there terms to say if neither are possible?
It seems like if neither are possible, he gets what he wants from you,
Yeah,
which
then-
is all
then
that
we're-
makes you strong.
Are we
Breach of
okay with that?
contract. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else? Are we comfortable opening up the scroll right now and sort of inspecting it? Not using it.
Yeah, you can do it now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Geryon doesn't seem to stop you or anything like that. He
I
gave
just
it
wanted
to you
to
so that
stop
you
you
could look at it.
before. I just wanted to know what it was before we open it in case we
Sure.
unleash some kind of
That makes
unholy
sense.
magic on ourselves.
Yeah, so I'll open up the scroll and then I'll kind of like share it with Harmony so we can look at it. Make sure that it's like, this message is gonna self-destruct and whatever, make sure it's like either clear, she can read it, or one of us can read it. Looks
Yeah,
legit.
I mean,
I'm actually a minion of ruin.
it actually seems like any one of you would be able to read it. It's not like it's written in wizard arcane runes or anything like that. It's got magic inlaid into it, but it's designed to be able to be accessible to someone who doesn't have too much magical ability. So it's not like only Harmony could do it. Any one of you could read this spell and activate the magic within. If there's anything else you want to determine about it, you could roll an Arcana check.
I mean, sure, I'll see if there's anything else. Are you saying that I need to have something specific I'm looking for, or you're going to give me more information?
If you have something specific you're looking for.
Okay, I don't, so never mind.
I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, I think, are these terms agreeable? Says the Kenku voice. I
I mean,
mean,
what choice
it's
do
all
we
there.
have, right?
Yeah, it's all there. So
We're in there.
if
Yeah.
we're good
Yeah,
with
it's like I feel like we're gonna, as soon as we sign it, we're gonna start a stopwatch.
I mean, we're already on
Huzzah.
the clock, so
Yeah.
I mean, but this intensified it, you know.
it, okay,
let's do it.
sure.
Okay. Geryon takes the first opportunity to sign it. He signs sort of the first line there, but there's lines for all of you.
I'll sign next.
Yep, we'll just go around the room and take turns.
What happens? I'm going to ask before I sign. What happens to you if you don't uphold your end of the bargain?
If you want to include a specification for that, we may need to redraft, but I'm open to penalties if you have any in mind.
I mean, if he doesn't fulfill his end of the bargain, he doesn't get what he wants, and then he might die here.
That's true.
Precisely.
And Daddy assigns.
Okay. It did seem like he was open to it if like you wanted to include some sort of penalty, but
No, I'm pretty sure that he'll die if he doesn't leave here. So
he's also pretty sure that he'll die if he doesn't leave here. So
He's not gonna have much to give at that point.
yeah.
Okay.
okay. With the contract signed, he snaps it back up, sort of gives it a once over, hands it off to the lawyer Chain Devil who drafted the contract, and sort of surveys the group of you and says, well, that's that then. Deal done.
Pleasure doing business with you.
If all goes well, we will all have exactly what we need.
Stay alive out there, Geryon.
It's been a slice.
That's the plan. And he sort of looks back at Lil Benny and the other Chain Devils and says, now you get to your mission. And Lil Benny turns invisible to every eye except for Thaddeus's and sort of creeps out of the room.
Okay.
So cool.
All right. Let's go back out into the main part of the tavern then, I guess.
Yep. It looks like it's actually gotten a little busy. There's a few patrons there that have come in and are sipping on Stygian ale in the corners. The bartender Brevity looks at the group of you and says, anyone need a refill? Refill?
Yes,
Oh
please.
yeah.
Another gold, another round. And she kind of fills everyone up who gives her money. Geryon,
Let's sit down and enjoy some relaxation time.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. We've got a little bit of time to kill.
Geryon and his crew seem to have gone out a back door or something like that because they don't come out this way.
So we were really going to have to seal that portal when we get back, huh?
I thought you said the bat door for a second. I'm like, that's pretty fitting for him.
I feel like
Extra
finding a
wide.
way to seal the door between our world and the Shadowfell was always on our list of things to do.
It's not a good thing to have open generally, no.
Right, and I think if we can enlist Mandus and the orphans to help us with that. So, is that it for our agenda on Stygia?
Thaddeus takes out his notebook and flips through it a little bit. Collect the shard of the pit fiend. That's done, supposedly. If we trust little Benny.
Pending.
Yeah. Kind of little disappointed we didn't get to go play that game, but you know, can't have it all.
I mean,
it is hell after all.
if we stay, you can feel the weight of this plane on us, right?
I
Like,
know. C'est la vie.
Let's see, and all the contracts, that'll be done shortly. That's it. Oh wait, link up with the army. That's our last agenda item. We're going to do that today.
in that case, I pull out the Ruby of Sending, and I'll send a message to Moloch and say, hey, Moloch, we are about done with our chores here, and we're ready to meet back up with you. Where should we meet you?
Okay. A brief second passes, and then you hear Moloch's voice come back into your head, and he says, boss, hey, long time no talk. I'm ready to link up too. Army's ready. Go a couple miles west of Tantalin. You can't miss us.
Okay.
He says we need to go west of Tanslin for a couple miles.
All right.
Sure.
Shouldn't take too much time on Lulu.
Okay. Guess there are no mile marker posts in hell.
I'm more
Let's just
concerned about the
finish-
west. Where's west? I reckon by the sun in our world.
Yeah.
Hey, Brevity, which way is west?
That way.
Insight check.
Insight check.
Well, Lulu might be able to know, right? If we tell her.
Maybe.
I got a 17.
Brevity rolled a 2 on her survival check,
Okay, so she doesn't know.
so she doesn't know.
All right. Well, thanks for trying, Brevity.
No problem. It's what I'm here for.
Could I try and figure it out?
Yeah, sure. Roll a survival check.
Okay. So I'll stand up and I'll look out the broad open storefront that I'm guessing hasn't been repaired yet.
Yep.
Okay. I got a 22.
There's
Way
no
better than
sun.
Brevity.
There's no sun to judge by. You really only have your ranger instincts.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, you've spent a lot of time in sort of dark, snowy landscapes. What it is that clues you into the direction you need to proceed, I, as a DM, cannot tell you, but something does.
Can I?
And you know which way to go.
Can I
Yes.
make a reference?
Tell us. Tell us.
So I remember in Sigil that we saw some pamphlets, and on the pamphlets, some of them had compasses in the corner, and then so when I match up the lay of the land and the really poorly made pamphlets, I realize which way is north.
Oh,
Makes
that's
sense.
fantastic. Good
That makes
job.
a lot of sense.
Thank you.
I love that.
Thank you.
Pull out the bad pamphlet.
Yeah, and I shake my head and I'm like, God, I never wanted to use this for anything good. And then I'll go back to the table and say, all right, put the pamphlet away. All right, it's that way.
Keep it to Xant.
Great.
I'm sure of it.
So you guys heading out? You're gonna stay and talk a little bit more? What's the plan?
I don't
We can
know.
also talk
I
on the
mean,
way,
like
too,
we have
but-
a little time to kill until a little bit and it does its work. But then again, Geryon said he works fast, so I have no idea. if
But
we
he's
need to stay here.
he's meeting us where we're going, right? Or
Yeah,
what was the?
he said we were gonna have to figure out a way to contact him.
Contact who?
Geryon.
Benny or Geryon or somebody.
Hey,
They were going to find a way to contact us.
Oh, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, we could ask Brevity. But yeah, okay. They can contact us. Do we know, other than like what we understand so far about Malbolg, do we know like any like elemental type of things? Like this is really cold, Avernus is really hot. Like, does Malbolg have any specific like the air is poison?
What did the
or
brochure
something?
that we got
I'm not
say?
looking at that.
You wanna look at the brochure you
I
got?
think it's
No.
very gooey, right? The
It was
ground
it was
is
really
very
mountainous,
was
and then it was changed
gooey.
mountain, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I remember is mountainous.
But like element wise, like is there anything that we can prepare for while we're here?
The things that you've heard about, the brochure you have, when you pull the brochure out, talks
We
about these
don't.
sort of
We can. All right.
talks about these sort of like endless slopes
Mhm.
where whichever direction you're traveling, you're going uphill, and boulders are constantly rolling down at you. However, you've heard descriptions from other devils and fiends that you've met throughout your journey to the Nine Hells and throughout it, who have said the plane drastically changed when Malagard, Mother Midnight, was deposed from her position as the Hag Countess and the Archduke of the Lair. At which time she apparently swole to like this massive proportion and exploded. And sort of her innards and outards covered the entire layer.
But we don't know if it's still a mountain.
And you've heard stories about giant lice.
Yes.
I think that's about it.
So
Can't wait to go to this plane.
Yeah, poor Pinky.
So there were stores here and stuff, right? That we
Yep.
went to
Mhm.
before. I wonder if we should buy something like.
Even if we don't buy
healing
something,
potions?
You do
We
have
should-
some soul coins, which would be
Yeah.
legal tender here.
even if we don't buy something, we could go to these stores and ask, like, what would you recommend to prepare for a trip
let's
to
do that.
Malbolge? And maybe they could tell us about what things are actually like there now.
Yeah. Our first stop is still Colossius Castle, right? So
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like you want to gather a little bit of information. How about one of you makes what would be a good information gathering roll?
insight.
I don't know, either, like an insight check or a persuasion check, intimidation check, something like that.
I'm okay with persuasion and intimidation.
I could do insight.
If it's persuasion, I think anyone but Harmony would have disadvantage.
Yeah, let's let Harmony do it then.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Do I have advantage because people are helping me? Or is this just a straight roll?
You'd sort of be on your own for this one because you're in hell and all these people look like humans. But you look sort of devilish.
I did not roll very well, and I can't use types of chaos.
But you've got a good bonus.
Yeah, not that good. 13.
13. So
We're also not trying to do anything super hard here.
Yeah,
That's true.
but compared to last time you were trying to sort of explore Tantalin, the residents seem to have grown a little bit more cold in general towards you.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Yeah. There's less people who seem willing to stop on the street and talk to you, even, and perhaps especially the tieflings. But yeah, if there's one question you want answered with a 13, I could answer a question for you about the plane of Malbolge.
What did we want to ask?
What
go ahead,
what
Nick.
should we do to prepare?
What would one do to prepare for a journey through Melbourne?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Do to prepare for a journey through Malbolge. Give me just a second. Let me look at my notes.
This episode is sponsored by
Thick boots.
Literally no
Box,
one.
whatever it's called.
It's D&D.
Yeah.
D&D Beyond.
I need to look back at my other note. So I think the first thing, the thing that you would learn is that whereas with Avernus, it's a very hot layer, you're going to want to prepare for dealing with extreme heat. For Stygia, it's a very cold layer, you're going to want to prepare for dealing with cold. For Malbolge, you're going to want to deal or prepare for dealing with necrotic energies.
Oh,
Things that want to sap at your life force.
okay. Does such a resistance potion exist, maybe, or something?
It does.
Okay, yeah. So maybe we can go to the local store that we visited before with that old guy that I hassled into giving me arrows.
Oh yeah,
Easily.
this guy.
Yeah. So we can go there. Unless y'all have a better place to go.
Yeah, if you go back to that shop, he has a sign on his window written in Infernal that says absolutely no haggling.
He was the one haggling me too. But okay, it goes both ways. That's fine. All right, so we can go in.
It's the kind of thing that like he put up that sign after last time.
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
He lost a
It
lot.
wasn't there before.
Yeah. Yeah, I made it like a bandit. So yeah, we can go in there and we're back.
There's one look at you and says, no, All of you
Don't
get
worry.
out of here.
No haggling. No haggling. And
Gives you a suspicious look and says, all right, fine. What do you want? What do you need? How can I get you out of my shop as quick as possible?
necrotic resistance things, potions, consumables. What do you got?
Can I make an insight check on him?
Yeah, sure. What do you want to find out?
I want to find out why he's so upset that we're in his shop. Is it just that he doesn't like us, or is this like an Asmodeus thing going on?
Like me.
I got a 16.
16? You know that you didn't leave on necessarily the best of terms with this guy, but you are here to do business. So like you'd think he'd want to do business with you, even if things didn't go particularly well last time. So it does seem like there's potentially some sort of like magical, supernatural factor at play here, which could be an Asmodeus thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like predispositioning him to not want to deal with you.
Interesting.
It apparently didn't affect Geryon at all, though. So,
It's true.
but probably because of his muscles. So what did
He
he
can't
find?
be strong-armed by anyone.
Oh.
Ah.
Oh.
This old man kind of rummages around behind the counter and pulls up two sort of murky-looking gray potions and places them on the counter, which is carved completely of ice. And he says, I only have 2.
What are they?
Exactly what you asked for.
Necrotic
Potions
resistance.
of necrotic resistance.
Okay. What's the price?
He consults his book, like holds it up in front of his face, like looks at you, looks at his book,
Yeah.
looks at you, looks at his book, and says, 600 gold pieces each, or 2 soul coins.
Is that? Can I make an insight check to see if that's a fair price?
Sure.
Okay.
2 soul coins seems good. We
That's
don't want 2 soul coins anyway.
That's an 18.
The soul coin price feels a little fair, but in terms of the gold price, he's jacked it up a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
It's probably worth more like 500.
Okay.
I'll give you 1 cover piece for it.
1 copper piece. What do you say to the price of 2 copper pieces?
I don't know if that's fun, but it's funny.
And he points to the sign that says absolutely no haggling.
I look at the sign. And I look at him.
He gives you this one eyebrow raised look like, what you gonna do about it?
Look at my book. Look at him.
I
Look at my book.
I put the 1 soul coin that I'm carrying on the counter
Yeah.
and take one of the potions.
Who wants the other one? I have a soul coin
I'll
left.
pay-
How
I
many
think
do we
all
have left?
We have how many?
I
do we
don't
have?
think I have any.
Okay, I'll give
Yeah.
up mine.
Sure.
Once he has 2 soul coins, he kind of shields the other potion, like, you're not taking this before I get another 2 soul coins.
Oh, I thought it was.
It
I
was
thought
2
it was
total.
1 soul.
No,
1
it
soul
was
coin
2
each.
per.
2 per.
Oh.
600 or 2 per.
Wow.
Oh,
Whoa, I thought the same thing you did.
That's,
yeah, I thought
hang on a second. That's not right. But I can't haggle him down.
Wait, so how many soul coins did we have as a group?
I didn't have any.
I had 1.
I had 1. Don't you have 2 still, Zach?
I think I have 2. I have to look at my notebook. One sec.
Handy dandy.
I mean, are we going to need them in Mold?
I don't think we're going to any towns. We're not dealing with anybody. We're just
Yeah, we're
Just
gonna have to be
finish
quick.
a bit
So
Glacia.
Glacia's not going to need them, and then we're just going to go and shank a bitch. So
Yeah. I'm glad
Wow.
to get rid of them. Honestly.
The old man kind of like looks around like, it's not me you're gonna shank, is it?
I'll give him a look.
no, but you are being bitchy.
I have friends in the Geryon gang, you know.
do we.
Ah,
We have Geryon is yeah.
Oh no. What have I done?
And I'll look at the sign again and be like,
2 cover pieces.
Hello, heroes of hell. What does he not get?
yeah, we killed Demogorgon.
So do you guys want to buy the second potion or no?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
put up
let's do
another
it.
coin, however many I have 2, so
Okay, it takes 2 more. So once he has the 4 soul coins total,
then I'll grab it.
passes you off that.
Sure.
That's 2/5 of my quota for the month.
You're welcome.
It was okay doing business with you.
Likewise.
Anything else I can help you with?
You don't. Yeah, I guess if you
What
didn't
else
have
does
anything
he
else,
have, like, out on display?
Nothing on display.
it's like hiding
Oh,
everything.
that's
Yeah,
boring.
everything's behind the counter.
That's funny.
It's like this very plain ice shop with an ice counter. Everything is either in the back room or behind the counter. But he does say that he has like healing potions and things like that if you need to restock on that, or
I mean, I don't have any greater healing potions left.
I still have 2. I can give you one of mine.
Okay.
I only used 1 and I had 3.
I've still got a superior healing potion.
That's good.
I have the 1 supreme healing potion.
Nice.
Okay, so maybe we don't need any more. But yeah, I'll take one of your graders, Mara, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Oh, I also
hand
have a
it to you.
greater.
Yeah, I think I passed one out to like everybody. So he has potions on display. How much are those?
for the potions he charges pretty regular prices. So like 50 gold pieces for a regular healing potion, 100 for a greater.
I'd say we pick up some potions, a couple of them maybe. What do you guys think?
Okay.
Yeah, some graders at least, right?
Sure. How many do you want?
Of those, he has 5 total.
Do you want 5?
I think
rolled
we
very
should all
high,
carry
so-
2 each, at least.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
so we'll pick up
we
5
need-
then.
I need 1.
I need 1. Mara needs 1.
How many
Yeah.
do you have, Sam?
I don't have any graders, but I have the supreme, so I would just need one other potion
So-
to have 2.
Yeah,
So
or 2
I think,
graders.
yeah,
Let's just-
we each want 2 graders. So yeah, get all 5.
we'll pick.
Get all
Yeah,
5.
so 5 please, and I'll put. How much was it? 500 gold.
500 total. Yep.
Okay, and I'll smirk, like I just made out again. I'll be like, thank you.
Let me check my books.
And I already put them away. No,
Oh!
and I'll point him. Read the sign.
Get out! Get out of here! You're bad for business.
It was a pleasure, I'll say.
As
Big-
we leave,
big
I'd like
smile.
to use. As we leave, I'd like to use prestidigitation to light the no haggling sign on fire.
Okay, so yeah, as you're leaving, you kind of see the old man rushing out of the store and like slapping the sign with a blanket, trying to put out the fire. But that's sort of the scene you have as you depart the store.
I love this. Okay, so we all get 1 more, or what? Because
You get 2. The rest of us each get 1 more.
We all get 3, or we all have 2 greater healing potions total.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. So I'm gonna write down 2 then. Okay. And graders are what's the amount?
44
44
plus 4.
plus 4.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. 44 plus
44 plus 4.
fur to fur. Got it.
Pretty fur.
Okay, well I think
Earn.
that was some some successful shopping.
Yeah. Are we done here?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. Shall we be off?
To the west.
Lead the
That
way.
You begin to make your way out of the city through some of the ruined walls that are being patched up by ice devils who kind of give you dirty looks as you leave the city. They give you this chilling glare through their bug-like eyes.
Chilling.
Yeah,
How soon
Man.
they forget.
just watching you go leave the city. But none of them move to attack you or anything like that.
Because they're frozen.
Fine, we don't want to cool our heels here anymore anyway.
But the group of you make it out into the sort of frozen plains of
The cold
Stygia.
never bothered me anyway.
Yeah.
Yep. but it's about to because I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh
Crap.
man.
All right.
If you
Even
have
those of
cold
us-
resistance, you can have advantage.
And you all get my aura,
Okay.
which is +5.
24.
Same, 24.
23.
And Mara?
I'm sorry. They need +5. It's a 20.
20. And then Byakko?
Oh, Byakko. What does Byakko get? Byakko gets a. Oof, that's pretty high. It's at least a 22 without looking at his bonus. So like a 28.
Okay. You trudge out into the snow, and you can feel like every.
Lulu got a 24 as well.
Oh, nice. That's right. You had Lulu. Are you flying on Lulu?
Yeah.
Okay. And
So I don't think it takes much of this time to fly Lulu.
a little bit. So you make your way out into the blizzard of Stygia, and you can feel the blistering cold starting to try and affect the group of you. And it is numbing cold. So you think that if you didn't have the fortitude and the magical resistances that you'd have right now, you would probably be fighting against exhaustion or worse from the effects of the freezing temperatures. But all of you, including Lulu, seem to be fine. However, at one point, Lulu seems to forget the stipulations about flying within Stygia.
I would have reminded her to stay low to the water.
I rolled an intelligence check for her, and she didn't do great.
Okay.
Oh no.
I was going to mention that, but
Yeah, so I think probably what happens is she's trying to fight against this blizzard, and she's not making any headway. So she decides to try and get up above the blizzard to try and avoid
No,
its
Lulu,
effects,
no.
so that she can fly through the storm. And you shout that out, but the winds are so loud that they batter against the group of you, and they totally drown out your voice. And I need you also all to make a dexterity saving throw,
Great.
okay, fantastic.
My favorites.
and one for Lulu as well.
Yeah.
Great.
Lulu did terribly.
I did terribly too.
Thaddeus did worse.
Dexterity.
Did you beat
saving
Mevo?
throw.
I got a 9.
Well, Lulu got a 0.
With your aura?
Oh, not with my aura. With my aura, Lulu got a 5.
All right. Well,
I got a 11.
okay.
21.
21,
Me
nice.
too. 21.
Byakko got a 23.
Okay. Anyone who got below a 16 takes 37 points of lightning damage as a bolt of lightning streaks down from the aurora the second that Lulu gets more than a few feet off the ground and collides with her, just coursing through her entire elephant-like body. Anyone who got above a 16 takes half, except for Mara, who takes none because you leap out of the way. Like how you dodged the meteor storm. I don't know. What does Mara do?
How much is half?
18?
37, so 18.
I see it
Wait,
coming.
you say
and I'm-
37?
37 was the total. Yep.
Okay. I thought you said 33 for Lulu, so I only took it to 33.
So I guess at that point, I will, if it's okay, cast Healing Spirit to sort of, unless this counts as like a short rest, then we can just spend hit die.
No, the storm, the blizzard is so intense that you definitely can't rest upon Lulu right now. But if you want to cast Healing Spirit, you can definitely do that. Lulu basically after that veers back down into the blizzard effect and tries to struggle through that. Can you make for Lulu a strength check?
Mm-hmm.
Poor Lulu.
She's in her mammoth form, where her strength is way better.
Indeed.
Do you guys want me to use Healing Spirit?
This is not a save, right? This is a strength check.
Does she have a bonus to saves for strength? If so,
No.
then okay, then yeah.
But she would if it was a save, she'd have that as Sora.
Oh, that's a good point. Sure, make it a save.
Okay.
Give you as many bonuses as you can.
Stygia's not so bad after all of a sudden.
Stygia is not so bad. if your DM
Off the
is
table
not
twice.
evil.
Okay. That is a 26.
26. Okay. With the aid of Thaddeus's holy aura, sort of the familiar light of Asanahan spurring her onward, she is able to force her way through this blizzard, and it is a miserable process. By the end of it, the group of you are covered in ice and sort of soaked through. All of your clothes are soaked through, and it is just freezing cold, even if you have resistance to the element itself. But the group of you start to see fires in the distance appearing through the storm. And there's many of them. It seems to be a large camp of beings.
While we're going
Ahead of you.
there, I will, with my arms out like this, I'll say, "Hey, Mara, stick a carrot on my nose." They're like covered.
I reach one out and then I give it to Pinky.
Ah,
Yum, 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 yum.
fine. Brush all the snow off.
But it was a hell carrot, so Pinky pukes.
Oh. I thought it was only bad in Avernus. Is it everywhere it tastes bad? Because the
It's
food
everywhere.
because the food
Yeah.
in the tomb tasted fine.
It did.
Huh.
Yeah.
Mmm. Some
Specially
foul
prepared for
magic.
us by devils.
Huh?
Specially prepared for us by devils.
Yeah, but you guys,
Seasoning of the
you
pit.
guys start to
They were
see.
pit masters.
You start to see this group of creatures off in the distance, lit by the lights of several bonfires. Seem to be gathered in the blizzard wastes of Stygia.
Alright, let's
Chant,
make
use your scope.
Sure. Yeah, I can take a look and observe and see what.
Roll a flat perception check, because I think you'd have advantage because of your scope,
Mhm.
but disadvantage because of the blizzard.
Okay, that's a 23.
Yeah, you can see a group of creatures that are clearly fiendish of some kind. They don't seem to be like devils that you've seen before. But there's definitely enough of them to constitute a small army, and they are definitely armored as if they are prepared for battle.
How many are there roughly?
Several hundred,
Okay.
perhaps close to, I mean, less than 1,000 maybe, but a significant number.
Sure. Okay. So I'll let everyone know that, yeah, there's several hundred fiends or something, rather.
Yarb.
Very descriptive.
I mean, that's all I can see. Can you see anything better? And I'll hand her the scope.
Who, me?
Yeah. You want to try and take a look through this?
Sure.
I guess same thing, roll a perception check.
Yep.
7.
7. A big snowflake lands on the front of the scope. You can't see anything.
How do you see anything out of this? It's so
Take
blurry.
it back. Yeah, all right. Well, you're welcome.
What do you guys do to approach? Do you just fly straight in on this golden elephant, or try to contact someone?
How far
specifically,
away
or-
are they?
I mean, you probably would have spotted them at a distance of several hundred feet, and you would guess that they probably won't see you because you're not anywhere near as conspicuous as the mass of
Does-
them with all of their fires
Yeah.
and things like that.
With my 23, is there like a landing spot that is a little bit further away that we can approach, like on foot or something?
What do you mean, like a landing spot?
Is it like an area that they won't see a giant, elephant streaming across the water and open fire
I
or
could
something?
cast seeming on us.
Does Harmony have to cast sending to contact Moloch, or do you have a telepathic link or something?
I do not have a telepathic link, I don't think.
You do not.
Okay.
But I mean,
could
they're
summon
expecting
him
us.
to me.
She trained him with the clicker, though. All she have to do is go click, 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 and he answers. So.
I
They're-
mean, pretty much.
They're expecting us, so like, should we be worried?
They know. Moloch knows what Lulu looks like.
No, he wasn't with us when we got Lulu.
He was.
Oh, he
we
was?
wrote it.
There you go.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
wrote.
yeah.
Not
he
here,
left
he
when we
left,
got to-
Yeah.
So we should be okay, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I
Not,
could.
you can
I
punish
could call
him.
him to us, or I could. I was also the reason I was asking about how far away it was is because I could just jump over there real quick.
Yo, just go.
Hmm.
But we're probably fine.
Okay. So I think we'll just, go straight to them then?
Or what,
Okay.
circle till we find Moloch?
I mean, it's not much of a circle if we're like on the,
Well, if it's
ocean
massive,
surface.
Yeah, we can't really go overhead and circle above
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
of the lightning. So I think we should just go to him.
Okay.
As you approach then, on your giant glowing elephant, you basically see that there are like makeshift tents and things set up in this sort of war camp for a group of creatures that is as varied as any other group of creatures you've ever seen before. There are a bunch of like four-armed insect-like creatures with like black carapaces that wield these tridents. There are these large green fiend-like looking creatures with these like pointy horns that come off their top of their heads that seem to have leathery skin and yellow glowing eyes with these massive axes and things like that. There are the same sort of creatures you saw with Mike Jensen, those sort of elongated head, turquoise skinned, fiendish creatures with the sort of majestic looking long swords. You also see one or two among the ranks that are similar in type to the sort of fiend that Sial is. Harmony, I think in particular, would recognize them. These sort of like fox or jackal-like creatures that tend to wear sort of more wizardly robes and things like that. Just this weird variety of creatures. And as you land, it's a group of those sort of insect-like ones with the tridents that seem to sort of warily approach the group of you. And in Infernal, they just say, "Who goes there?"
Friends of Moloch.
Yes, Moloch is expecting us.
These bug-like creatures, they're actually a little bit taller than Harmony, so they kind of like loom
Oh, just
over
a
you
little.
and they say, "Is that so? All right, well then you better come with us." And they kind of jab at you a little bit with their
Happily.
trident. It's kind of poking you in the right direction. And as you
Excuse you.
begin
I
to
push
walk
the
through,
trident and point away from myself.
it quickly is like repositioned back into place. As the group of you make your way through this camp of monstrous creatures, more and more of them seem to gather around you and form a crowd that just seems to escort you towards the center of the camp, where you do recognize Moloch. He's sort of up on a raised podium, seemingly giving directions to a bunch of these fiendish creatures. And this podium is basically placed at the mouth of a massive downward sloping tunnel that seems like an ice cave that just dips down into the iceberg that you are situated on.
Moloch! I ran up to him.
Yeah, at the sound of your voice, he looks in your direction and he says, "Oh, boss, hey, over here!" And he kind of points down to the Yugoloths that he was giving directions to, and he says, "You there, finish up the preparations quickly. We'll be moving soon, within a few hours. Just get them moving." And as he says that, a couple of the other fiends run off in different directions, and you can see that the camp begins to be like taken down, just slowly, sort of in a rippling wave effect. And Moloch sort of hops down from the platform and walks over to the group of you, looking up at Harmony with kind of his proud expression. And he says, "See, look, Thaddeus, told you I had an army."
Impressive. Is
Very
this
impressive.
Are we standing on the entrance to Malvolk?
Well, yes, one of the ways. Unfortunately, the only way that will suffice for an army. Especially since Glacia would not want our army appearing, in the portals near her palace. So it's this tunnel or bust for the army.
So we'll be appearing far away from her palace, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, farther than the portals in Tantalin, which connect pretty darn close to the palace itself.
So maybe we should go there?
That's all right. We've got Lulu. We can fly.
That's true.
We're like 6 miles away from Tantalin, so.
What, you guys are gonna go without me?
Well,
I
we
thought
have.
the plan was to meet up here and then go together.
We're
No,
going
no.
together.
We'll go with you. We just need to
They're
take
just whining because we just came from Dandelion.
Well, also
And-
we're on a time limit now, so if we have to spend days traveling, that's not good.
Wait, hold the phone. What do you mean you're on a time limit?
It's a really long story, but basically Asmodeus kind of hates us now.
He kind of
No,
squints
kinda.
his eyes, looking frantically at the group of you, and says, "Hey, that wasn't any part of the plan. What do you mean? What happened? I need details here. We're in this together. I need to know exactly what happened while we were separated."
I look very pointedly at Thaddeus.
Well, he's down one Archduke. 2, actually, I suppose.
Two,
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, I mean, but he got one, so like 1.5?
Soon to be 2
1.5?
or 3.
Yeah, 3.
Who? Which
Wow.
ones? What do you mean?
We
I mean,
killed
who changes
Levistus.
the severity of it?
Mhm. We killed Levistus.
That's fine.
Although
Asmodeus hates Levistus.
it was kind of indirectly on Asmodeus' orders. Also, Zariel is gone.
That one's not so good.
That's the one he's upset about.
That's
Yeah.
what he's really mad about.
He personally told us about it too.
He kind of, Moloch stands back up on his podium and surveys his army. He looks down at the group of you and he says,
Well, look. This army was more of a contingency plan anyways. I don't necessarily know how many forces Malagard has. It's possible that we, the group of us, the small group of us, can just stride into her lair and wreak our revenge. They aren't equipped to contend with the forces of hell. Not long term. That's for sure.
Well,
But they will if I order them to.
He's not moving directly against us. It's sort of a. What did he say exactly?
I
That
blocked it out.
The plane itself would turn on us?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't think it's anything that your men are going to have to deal with. Just us.
Moloch shakes his head and he says, it takes some time to mobilize the forces of hell, sure. But if you're responsible for taking Zariel away from Asmodeus, you better believe that Asmodeus's forces are going to be mobilizing as we speak against us.
Hence the time limit.
We also have to. Well, there's a whole separate time limit, but it seems like Asmodeus.
Yeah,
Asmodeus is just a more important one for now.
yeah.
Well, so I guess the question is, if we take this path to Malvolk, how long will it take to get to Glacia's castle from there?
About a day down the tunnels.
It'll take a day through the tunnel to get to Malvolk?
Kind of nods his head. It's a long way. It's a whole plane away.
And then once we're there, how long until we can get to Osua?
If you abandon the rest of us and fly off on your elephant, I don't know, not that long.
Is the
A lot
portal
of things
like
have probably changed since I was ruler of the place. I don't know.
okay? Is the portal instantaneous?
Well, yeah, it would be, but I can't get the
So-
army through
well,
it
hang
because
on,
it's in
hang on,
Tantalin.
hold on. If you guys take a day to get there, if we go through the portal, we can do our business with Glacia immediately, and then meet you where this
On the other
tunnel
side of this portal.
exits.
he kind of looks at you and like rubs his chin a little bit and says,
But hold on. If Asmodeus is mad at you for turning Zerial, what's to say that you'll be able to use the portal to begin with?
I mean, it's like right there. We can go check right now.
The connections between the layers are all controlled by Asmodeus. You've gone and royally fucked things up.
All right.
He kind of like takes a minute to like rub his temples.
I'm sorry, this was just absolutely not within the plans.
Malik,
Yes? Yes,
I
boss?
think that we were kind of, it was in the cards that we were going to be making an enemy of Asmodeus anyway. Regardless of what happened with Zerial, he has a contract with my family line that we're trying to break too.
That's what we're going to see Quincy about. He's probably going to be more upset once that happens, come to think of it.
Okay, well, it
So
seems
we
like
need to
this
act
can't be
fast.
helped. The point is, I don't even know if you'll be able to use the portals if you went back to Tantalin.
Well,
You
I
see
mean,
my
we could
point?
try though, right?
First of all, they're going
tried
to
and
be
it
heavily
didn't-
guarded.
Yeah.
They may not let you in. You'll have to fight your way in if that's the case. Then the question is, will the portal even work? I don't know.
So, but this tunnel will work?
Kind of nods his head. Yeah, it's a physical connection as opposed to a magical connection that can be monitored.
So let's just take the tunnel over here. We'll go through together. And then if we break off from you guys and meet up again, once we're through.
The worst that can happen if we're in the tunnels is we encounter some of his minions or something. We have to fight our way through. But then we have an army.
And you have us.
Right.
I nudge Harmony and I say, sounds like Malik really missed you.
So
I know.
would it be?
If he missed you, it's been swiftly pushed aside by the fact that you pissed off Asmodeus, and he's pretty mad about that, obviously.
If we went swiftly ahead of the army to do our business, would that be an option? Because the army's probably going to be pretty slow through this tunnel. A day
He
for
looks
you
back
might
at
be
his
half a
army
day for us,
and
right?
They're already like well into packing up.
They're pretty quick. You might be able to get a little bit of time out of that. Sure,
We'll do what we can.
if it matters.
I think it'll be a better use of time to travel with the army through the tunnels for the protection. And then once we get to Melville, we can split off and do our thing then.
I agree. Things seem pretty, I don't know, there was a vibe in Tantalin I was getting.
A
Me too.
cold vibe.
Oh, were you getting a vibe?
Really,
Tantalin?
really
I can't
heavy
imagine.
vibe.
Listen, the four of you, huddle up. If anyone here knows what it's like to be on Asmodeus's bad list, it's this guy. So from now on, you listen to me, and if I say you don't do something to piss off Asmodeus, please don't do it. I'm begging you.
For the greater
We'll
good,
take-
though.
We'll take it into consideration.
He kind of mutters something under his breath in Infernal. Anyone who wants to can make a perception check if you want to.
Did he cover his mouth?
Nope.
Okay, then can I use my observant feat to just read his lips?
Sure.
What did he
Does anyone
say?
else want to try and hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try and hear it.
I mean, rogue's got a rogue.
I mean,
It's probably some like
Perception,
swear
right?
word.
Yep.
Not that is, that's for sure.
I need some numbers to know who.
Oh, 6.
6?
17.
Okay. 17. Mara?
I didn't do it.
Oh, you didn't do it? Okay. Then Harmony and Zant, the two of you make out what Moloch says. And he basically says,
Leave the damn fools alone for 1 minute, and this is the mess they make of our plan. My plan.
I'm just going to reach out and pat him on the head and say, we missed you too.
Does he say, this daddy's guy, he's going to be the death of me?
he doesn't say that, but he might be thinking it. When you sort of reach out and pat him on the head, just make a general charisma check. One, okay. He looks up at you, and you can see in his eyes, perhaps for the first time since you met him, his faith in you has shaken a little bit.
And he just says, "All right, if you say so, boss." In any case, it sounds like we better get on a move right now.
Well, hang on.
He looks at you with like fury boiling behind his eyes.
We're waiting for someone.
Who?
What was his
Oh
name?
yeah,
Benny?
Geryon.
Little Benny?
Geryon.
Or Geryon
Right,
himself.
Geryon. Or one of his gang.
Yeah, whoever. He's bringing both things, right?
He better.
he should be.
Okay. All right.
If he wants to stick to
Well,
his schedule.
it's only been a couple hours, maybe like 6 hours tops at this point.
Yeah.
You had your meeting with Geryon.
I mean, let's
How
just
long
go.
do you want to force Moloch to wait?
I'd say 0. I say we just go.
We lost
It's-
the second half of that.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Zach?
Ethan cut out, so I didn't hear the second half of
Oh,
what
I
you
heard
said.
what he said, but
Sorry, I just said it's only been a few hours. So how long do you want to ask Moloch to wait for?
it's on their. They said they would contact us. So and he said he could meet us or contact us in Melbourne. So let's
Well,
just go.
the agreement was today.
Yeah.
They would
So
try
we
today,
wait.
depending on how long it took.
Well,
It's not
can't the
certain
first part of the
terms.
army start going through and we just kind of
Catch
bring
up?
up the rear?
And we can catch up to the army, right? That should be pretty easy with Lulu.
Yeah, I think we should send the army through and we should wait here until at least night. And then go catch up with them.
Okay. In that case, Moloch says, "All right, fine. We need to get a move on, and if you need to wait a little bit longer, that's fine. But you need to catch up with us quick because we have no more time to waste if anything you said is true."
It's all true.
Sure.
It is true. Although I suppose that Geryon said he could find a way to contact us, and he does know that we're going to Malbolge next. And he said he'd come to Malbolge if he has to.
But we did say we'd wait.
I mean, we can wait
Yeah,
an hour
but-
or something.
He would have an easier time getting to the portal and getting to Asya if we had to meet him there.
I mean, for the record, I still prefer waiting here until
I
night
agree.
and then going. But just if we have to go without hearing from him,
What-
I think he'll still be able to get a hold of us.
Just a quick clarification. How many hours is nighttime? Because I thought we were like still in the afternoon or something, or maybe like
It's
late
like what,
morning.
3 in the
Yeah.
afternoon now?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it'd
Or-
be
Because we had the
afternoon,
meeting
so
at noon.
maybe like another 6-7 hours or so.
'Cause I
I'd be
feel
willing
that's
to
a
wait
long time.
another 4.
Sure.
Yeah.
Will the tunnel shield us from Stygia's cold weather and stuff? If we went in there a little
you
bit?
don't know. You don't know.
I'll ask Moloch.
He kind of gestures down to it and says, "I mean, if you go deep enough, sure, then the climate's going to change to more like what you'll see in Malbolge, but for at least the first little bit, it's going to be ice caves."
But at least we'll get out of this, storming
Blizzard, yeah.
blizzard.
Sure, take shelter in the cave. Me and the army, we've got to go.
Yeah, go.
We'll see you
Yes.
later.
Oh, well.
We'll catch up with you.
Over the next hour, then, the army starts like packing up and moving past you into the tunnel. And once all of them are sort of in the tunnel and making their way down, Moloch kind of hops back up on his podium next to the group of you where you're sort of assembled to wait for a message from Geryon. And he says, he looks at the group of you and he says, "Look, this isn't what any of us planned. I think we can still salvage this operation. We just need to move quickly. I'm sorry I was short with you, but please hurry."
I think we want more than 1 hour.
We won't let you down.
All right, boss.
Everything's under control.
Can we set up our little fortress maybe and light a fire in
We
it while we
can't.
wait?
That magic
I
was
transferred the
transferred.
magic to your boat.
Okay, can we set up the boat? Like,
Potentially.
put little support beams on the side of it and get warm? Just thinking
mean-
that's a long time to be shivering.
I think we just go inside the tunnels a bit.
Yeah.
Or something. So
Still
we're out of the
cold.
storm. Yeah, I mean the
Try and
boat's gonna be
try
cold
and build
too.
a fire once we're out of the blizzard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Then while the group of you are waiting, after Moloch kind of hops down with a last look at the group of you and makes his way into the tunnel after his army, eventually disappearing into the darkness of the tunnel,
I forgot to ask something.
We can retcon. What do you want to ask?
How do we navigate the tunnels?
Oh, don't worry. It's a pretty simple, straightforward path. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Difficulty is finding the tunnel in the blizzard. Once you find the tunnel, it's not that bad.
I see. Okay. So they don't need to leave like markers or anything for us, or we just.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like a river Styx
I'll
situation.
I'll just track an army if we need to.
Mullet kind of like puts his arm on your knee and says, "Look, if anyone can do it, it's you."
Now I'm out of here.
Okay. See ya.
Flutters off. The group of you make me one more Constitution saving throw as you set up camp to kind of wait here
Sure.
in the midst of the snow and darkness.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
26.
29.
Do we get your aura?
Yes, you do. It's +5.
I'm gonna use Indomitable because I
Okay.
rolled a 2, and that's not gonna cut it. Okay, that's an 18. That is 18 plus 13, so whatever that
Easy.
is.
Mhm.
But 15 probably wouldn't cut it.
And then Byakko.
Byakko.
yeah. Do Lulu too.
Byakko got a 20. Is that 26? 26.
Lulu also got a 26.
Okay. Everyone manages to sort of back off into the cave tunnels and weather off the cold. Shivering as you are, it doesn't affect you in any sort of physical or mental capacity. It's just miserable.
Does this count as a short rest?
You can take a short rest now if you wanted to.
I'm gonna spend some hit die and get that 37 life back.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then after several hours, you feel, I think probably Harmony, no, Zant would feel sort of the sending spell triggering in your brain, and you recognize the sender to be Lil Benny.
I don't know why. Okay, sure. Speaking, I guess. What does he say?
He says, "Hey, I got the thing, but there's a complication. I think you're gonna want to meet the guy who had it. Should I bring him?"
Is he dangerous?
I mean, that's all the sending
Do I
spell
have
says.
time to consult the group before I respond?
Yeah.
Okay, so then, yeah, I'll think for a second and say, okay, guys, little Benny just contacted me. And then I'll relay what he says, and then say, I think you should bring him, right? If there's a complication.
We certainly
why
don't have
not?
time to go back.
Yeah. I'll say, yeah, bring him. How long it'll take? Well, I guess he can't respond back.
Tell him where we are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'll say, yes, bring him, and then I'll explain where we
We're
are.
west.
Yeah, you're a little ways west of Tantalon by
Yeah.
tunnels that lead down to Malbolg. That's probably enough information for Lil
Yeah.
Benny to find you.
Maybe
Um,
Lulu can send up sparkles out of her trunk.
Complication. Oh, God. Oh, boy.
Several hours later,
Wait, how many hours
Um,
total are we talking here?
you start to lose track as,
Crap.
I mean, time sort of, I mean, it's hard to track time when it's just dark and snow constantly.
Sure.
But, at least, 5 or 6 hours later, you see a figure emerging out of the snow and recognize it to be Lil Benny. And he is dragging behind him a body. And as he drags the body up to the group of you and kind of tosses it down in front of him, it kind of weakly raises its head, and all of you recognize the face of Mercer Nightclaw.
Fucking knew it. Fucking knew it.
Yes.
Oh,
and
dang.
Benny-
And he's got his sword out. This is the second now you recognize this dude.
Benny is clutching like a frozen piece of flesh in his other hand, and he says,
Now this guy wasn't easy to take down, but I lost a couple of good devils doing it.
It was worth
Oh
it.
man.
Kind of seemed like this
Geryon-
would be something you'd be
Geryon
interested
will
in. Though.
appreciate it.
So you want me to just leave this guy with you?
Oh yeah.
Yes, please.
This is great. Wow, this is the best complication I've ever had. Wait, so he gives us the anchor and the heart shard then?
Right now he only seems to have the heart shard on
nice.
him.
Was he supposed to bring the anchor?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right, then I'm okay.
You get that when Geryon is
I'm
summoned out of here.
misremembering.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll stow the heart shard away and crack our knuckles a bit.
Hold on, I just need to pull up a stat block.
I don't think you do.
I do though.
I mean, we don't even have to roll for this, do we?
Yeah, we're basically all rogues at this point.
You two at two Brute. Man, I thought I had one ally.
Look, you didn't go along with the snowman building, so I don't know how I'm feeling either.
Hey, we were supposed to be miserable, right?
Okay.
Trying to make the light out of it. What is going on?
All right. I have the stat block that I need. So Lil Benny kind of tosses the heart shard to whoever sort of extends a hand
I'll
for
take
it.
it. Put it in the bag of
Tosses
holding.
it over to you. You catch it, put it in the bag of holding. And Mercer Nightclaw seems to be pretty much unconscious. Though not terribly injured, just like unconscious. And Lil Benny says, so I just leave you here with this guy? You'll deal with him?
I would be happy to deal with him.
Yeah.
It kind of seemed like he set up the whole situation to, weaken you and then attack you or something. I don't know. He had some kind of plan in place, but look, I'll just leave you to this. So Lil Benny out. And he kind of
Thanks,
like
Lil
raises his hands
Thanks, Lil
and
Benny.
Thank you, little Benny.
he
Yes.
disappears back off into the snowstorm after tossing the unconscious body of Mercer Nightclaw in
He's
front of
the
the group of
true
you.
MVP of Stygia. He's the true hero of hell. Is Lil Benny. All right, I think we can all agree on that. Next time there's an ice sculpture, it's him.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. What do we want to do to this
Let's go.
unconscious? All right.
I mean, do we wake him up or do we just slit his throat?
I don't think he needs to know anything. I'm happy to slit his throat.
I want to see how much Mara's critical hit with sneak attack does.
Well, I would like first shot at him since I owe
I'll-
him.
By all means. Yeah, I feel like you and
Wait,
Harmony
what?
owe him
Yeah,
the
he
most.
kidnapped me.
Yeah.
I'll
I
hold
hate
him
him.
down.
I hate him, but I don't have like a personal stake that you two
Yeah,
do.
same.
He killed my parents.
Yeah, yeah. Go for it.
Oh, Mara, this is all yours.
Do I get advantage?
I think you get a.
As you begin to swoop down,
I cast hold
sit-
person on him.
All right, hold on. You begin to sit down next to him, and you collect your thoughts of vengeance. And as you're about to lean in and deliver the blow, one of the eyes flutters open, and he reaches up and grabs you by the throat and says, "No, that's not how this is going." And that's how we'll end tonight's episode.
No.
As he was clearly not unconscious.
I didn't pick up on that?
Liar,
Dang.
liar, faking murderer. Ugh. Okay, I'm done.
But yeah, I think that's
We
where
got
we'll
this.
pick up next time we play.
Is that where we're picking up next time? We're still in the Stygia then?
That's the question, though. It's barely in Stygia. What are we
Yeah.
gonna do, guys?
I guess the question is, do you have enough plan to get through one whole session next week? Because this is a pretty good cliffhanger.
I don't know that I do. Let's cliffhanger here. So
Okay.
next session, while I take some time to plan Malbolg,
we have a sort of special surprise. Since I'm gonna need to take some time to sort of plan the next arc. For the next couple weeks, Kay is going to be doing something for us. So
Yay.
we will do something slightly different starting next week.
For a few weeks-ish.
As we hang on that last cliffhanger for Stygia.
I'm just waiting though. It's gonna be sweet revenge when we get back to this.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I guess that's where we'll pick up whenever we get back to it. Thank you guys for playing. Thank you to anyone who tuned in to watch. Kind of a lot of things happened this episode, I feel like.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So we'll be back with that after I've had some time to plan Malvold.
Okay.
And it'll be great. Thanks for watching.
Okay.
See you next time. Bye.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.